Hi guys, my name is Emily. This is my first ever YouTube video. I have made several first YouTube videos, but throughout making those videos, I get so nervous that I just end up deleting them. So it's kind of been a thing that I've wanted to do since I was little. I wanted, when I was 10, I think that's whenever I started like wanting a camera to make YouTube videos, but I never got one until this past year. It was a year ago. I got one for my birthday, my 18th birthday. Um, I do have that still. It's just the screen of it doesn't flip out for me to watch myself when I make videos. So right now I'm using my phone until I can get used to and comfortable to using that camera to make videos with. Yeah, so this is a video about like my first ever, it's like an everyday kind of makeup look. If you want to have a video of like a get to know me, just comment down below. Please like this video, please subscribe. I'm very nervous about this video, but I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to have fun. Yeah, okay. So, I guess we'll just get on to it. Okay, to get started, I can't find my moisturizer. I always put a moisturizer on first just to help with my oil because I get really oily in my T-zone. I always use the Oil Control Hydrator from, I say Ole Henriksen, but some people pronounce it Ole Henriksen. It's just, I guess, your preference. I don't know. It's just easier for me to say Ole Henriksen. It is the Oil Control Hydrator from his line. I really, really like it. That stuff is a lifesaver because in high school, every day if I wore makeup, I would always have to be blotting all throughout here, all throughout the day. I don't have to do that anymore at all. That stuff is a lifesaver. So I always use it first, but I can't find it at the moment. So I'm going to be using Purity Made Simple Moisturizer. It's not going to help with my oil, but I always start out with a moisturizer just so my products don't dry out my skin. So I'm going to start out with that. But I don't use it a lot. This is just going to be to moisture my skin because this weather change is really, it gets to everyone's skin. Even mine. I do have oily skin. Not like a bunch of oily skin, it's more combination. But this stuff does help not to dry out my skin. I will put some on my bangs, or not on my bangs, under my bangs. It is very hard having bangs, but I love them. They suit me. Okay. Okay. So after that, I usually use a primer. I've been trying different primers because I do work at Sephora. Right now, I've been using a lot of different ones. I was using the Becca Evermatte because it keeps my foundation matte all day. I kind of just go back and forth between what I'm going to use. So I was using the Blemish Rescue by Bare Minerals because I did get it in an influencer box this past summer. So I'll just be using that today. I'll use a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. But this does help with blemishes as well. I used to break out a lot on my cheeks and my nose area, but I don't anymore. I think my skin is changing because when I break out, I mainly break out on my forehead. Okay, and then after that, I usually go dampen my beauty blender. It's not a beauty blender. But it is like a generic one. So I'm gonna go wet that really fast, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and my beauty blender is damp. So the foundation I've been using has been the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea, the water foundation. I do like the little applicator. That helps a lot to keep it like clean. I always do kind of put it on my beauty blender on the flat side, just because it's easier for me to put it on my face. I always start on my cheek areas. Okay. So usually after that I will do my concealer. I do use just a cheap concealer. It is CoverGirl. I've had this one for a long time and I ran out of the one that I did use every day. I used to use it was the Makeup Revolution one. I gotta get a new concealer. I'm just kind of waiting to see which one I kind of like first before I do use one or buy one. I use the CoverGirl. It's the Ready Set Gorgeous one. It is kind of light, I know that. I am getting paler, but this one is really light. It's just the only one I have at the moment. But I only use it on my under eyes just because it is so light. I don't want to use it anywhere else on my face. Since I'm getting more fair, I don't want to highlight anywhere else because I don't want to make myself any more paler. I still use the same beauty blender, but I do use the pointed side just so I can get up in my inner corner and kind of closer to my eye just to blend it. And with the excess, that's still, or not the excess, the leftovers kind of on the sponge, I do kind of go here just barely, and kind of here just barely tap, just because I don't want to add any more. So the leftovers kind of do still highlight a little, but I don't try to add any more. Okay, after that, I'm done with that beauty blender. I've blended all I can. I do set this immediately, like my under eyes. I do use the Airspun, but I did, the leftovers of my Kat Von D powder, I did pour it in here, but I also have the Makeup Revolution, the banana baking powder. Sometimes I do kind of use it. It's just how I feel that day. Sometimes I do mix it in with this. So with the leftovers of my Kat Von D, I did pour it in this just because there wasn't a lot, so I just took the lid off and just poured it on this just to kind of mix it because those are my two favorites. I do have to open the lid just because you can't get a lot from the top. So I get my tweezers and the side that's not taped, which I think I took the tape off. I kind of stick it under there and I'll pull it off if I can. Usually I don't have that hard of a time. See all the powder that went flying? But that's okay. So I usually take that top off to kind of just dip it in there just a little bit, and then I just kind of do this to set, and then I'll usually pack on or brush off with that brush. I usually let this set under my under eyes while I'm doing my eyeshadow, just to kind of set, because I do have these creases under my under eyes that always crease, so this just helps to really set that concealer from getting into those creases, because if I don't set as soon as I like blend out my concealer, they set in those creases so much, like it's crazy. Usually I just take this brush, and I know this seems crazy, but I don't use any other powder. I only use setting powder. I just kind of go everywhere, and I know that sounds crazy, but that's just what I do. It helps my face stay matte all day. And as you can tell, it does kind of make me pale, but not as bad, and the lighting is kind of bad right now too. Kind of just set everywhere, but I always keep it under my under eyes. Okay, after that, I do a little bit of bronzer. I do use the Hoola one from Benefit. I use this very kind of fluffy brush. It's not very compacted, but it's not too fluffy, if that makes sense. I barely tap it in there just because I don't use a lot of bronzer, or like I don't contour, so I kind of still do it like where you would contour, under like your cheekbones, just in that little indentation, because I do have the little indentation, so I don't have to contour as much, but I do have chubby cheeks. So I kind of do this just to kind of give some color back into my face, because it's just more natural if you don't contour. Like there's so many people that contour too much, and I just don't want to be that girl. Some people though that contour a lot have it looking so flawless that you can't even tell, like it looks so good. But I just don't feel comfortable doing the contour, so I kind of just do this bronzer just to add some color back into my cheeks, because I am very fair because I've lost all my tan. After I bronze, I usually start kind of on my eyeshadows. I do use the Milani, the eyeshadow primer. A girl told me about this last year during football season while we was at a football game, and I've used this same one since last football season, and it's pretty good. I want to say it's like $10 or something at Walmart. I can't remember, but I use that and I put like a dot because it doesn't take a lot at all. And then I just spread that with my finger all over my eye. Today's look, I'm going to be using the Sultry palette from Anastasia. It is beautiful. Look at this. Oh my gosh, the brush just fell out. But it is so pretty. I am obsessed with it. I've only got to use it twice. I just got it the other day.
Such a beautiful palette. Oh my gosh, I love it.
So I'm going to be using this for my eyeshadow today. I usually start off with, I have a fluffy kind of brush. It's from ColourPop. The brush it's just one of their fluffy kind of eyeshadow brushes. If you can tell, I use it. It's just the one that I use, like my main kind of base for my eyeshadows. So today I'm going to be using Fresh for my base. It's more of kind of that neutral kind of white color. So, and you don't have to use a lot because it is very pigmented. So I do use this as my base, and I do take it up to my eyebrows. Today, I've only used the twig. I've only used it in my crease the only 2 times I've got to use this palette, just because it was a more natural kind of day at work, because we was doing themes. So I'm going to start out with the twig in my crease just to kind of start the build. I usually just kind of start on my outer corner. That's usually where I start my creases at, and then I kind of just go up a little. Sorry if my bangs are getting in the way. And then I just kind of blend it over. Go in with the, how do you spell that, or how do you say that, dystopian, the darker brown shade. I'm going to go in with it, but I'm barely going to touch it just because so much comes out on the brush. So I'm guessing it does, I mean it does have fallout, but just not as much as you would think, or what people usually say it does. So I barely touched the brush just because I don't want so much product to get on it. I kind of just want to start out like short, like small, and then I just kind of blend where I want it. I'm going to add, I want to add a little of that Bloom, that bright pink shade. I feel like it's more of like a watermelon kind of shade, but I really like it. And I think it kind of pulls this whole palette together just to give it that like to it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go in with a different brush just because that one does have brown still on it. I'm going to go in with I guess this one, it's from that same, it's Moda, it's that same that I use for my under eyes or my whole setting powder. It's just more of a little fluffy brush. It's kind of bigger than what I normally use, but my other ones have black on them right now. I have to clean them because I've been doing a lot of Halloween looks for work. So I'm just gonna go in with that, the Bloom. And I'm gonna kind of add it to right here. Just almost all over the top of the lid, just not totally all over. If that makes sense. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and put it all over the lid. After that, I'm going to take the side that I use for the glitter, which is the smaller side. I'm gonna take the pearl and the rose quartz, and I'm gonna kind of mix them together just a little bit, just kind of dab them in each other, and I'm gonna kind of just go over. And when you do the pigments, when you like swatch them and put them on your arm, they do have so much pigment. It's just when you use the brush, they're not going to be as pigmented as they are when you use your finger. And then now I'm going to use my finger, and I'm going to go in with the pearl And see, there's a lot of it. It's so beautiful. But I'm going to go in with the pearl and the rose quartz. And I'm going to kind of do it with my finger. But I'm going to dab. I'm not going to rub. At this point, I'm able to brush off that baking powder on under my eye because I am done with the top. Okay, now at this point, see, I do the under eye, and I usually use it's one of the brushes from one of the Naked palettes. I want to think it's the Naked 3 or 2. I can't remember which one, but it's one of those. As you can tell, this side is black. This side had a little black on it, but it is more clean. So I am going to go in. I usually start out on my under eye with the lighter shade that I started out with, just to kind of match it. If I do want to go darker, I always do, but you always want to start out with that lighter shade, just so you can, because you can always add more, but you can't take off, because if you take off, you're going to ruin your whole makeup. So it's just easier to start out with that lighter shade. And I do that to both sides. So I'm using that twig to start out with. In the palette, twig does look lighter, but once you put it under your eye, it does, or once you put it on like your lid and your under eye, it does go kind of deeper, which I do like. And then I'm going to use the Dystopian. I barely even tap it in there. I'm going to kind of blend that under my under eye. And I always kind of blend it up as well, just to kind of make them blend together. Now I'm going to be doing my eyebrows. And at the moment, I do not have a pencil. So I usually brush up with just one of the little ones that are throwaway that you can buy from Walmart. You can buy a whole pack of them for like a couple $. So I usually will start out with that, and I'll keep that to the side. But then I use this, it's called Luxie 215. It's a small angle brush. I think I got this in an Ipsy bag a couple years ago. So I usually take it, and then I take, if I can find it, where's it at? Okay, here we go. It's Mini Brow Trio is the shades of brown. It's from Pixie Beauty, and I'm pretty sure I got this in an Ipsy palette, or an Ipsy bag too. I used to use this a lot when I started out, like filling in my brows. Just because I was a beginner. But I have went to using a pencil, but I currently am out of that pencil, so I have to get a new one. And then I go back to the little spoolie to I'll blend them upwards, and then I kind of go over top and just do that, because you want them to look as more natural like as you can. Okay. And then after that, I'll usually put on my mascara. And I have been using a Revlon Dramatic Definition just because I needed a new mascara. I had ran out of the one I was using. I was using a brown mascara. I got to get a new mascara. But I'm trying to figure out which one I want. I think I want to buy the Kush one from Milk because it is a very good one. We've had a lot of clients use it. So I think that I'm going to get that one. But I usually just kind of go over my eyelashes just to give them some length to them and some color. Okay, next I'm going to do my blush. It is from Avon. This is I've had this one for a very long time. I think this one was my mom's, but these last forever. They're not a lot of money. Even whenever I don't want to do this one and I want to do like a kind of a lighter one, because this one is more kind of rosy-ish, kind of more natural. I do use this one from Tarte. It is the Party one. Just whenever I want more of a kind of lighter, kind of more calm one, I usually will use that one. But I usually use Avon. It's my everyday kind of blush. I take it on my angled brush from It Brushes, It Cosmetics. I love this brush. I've had this for a very, very long time. It was one of my first more expensive kind of brushes. And then after that, I use my highlighter. I do use the Fenty one, the new How Many Carats. It is gorgeous. As soon as we got it, well, it was in store before I started working there. It was like the week, I think, before when they got it, so I had to try it out whenever I walked in there. But it is gorgeous. Mine's a little bit dirty, but it's kind of, I don't know if you can see it. It is so pretty. It just kind of gives that wet effect to it, but it's just gorgeous. But I always use my finger just because my brush doesn't give it the full effect. I kind of just put it a little on the top of my cheeks and kind of bring it up. But I make sure it's kind of blended. It's hard to see in the sliding. But then I just do the same thing on the other side. Kind of bring it up. And then I'll put it on the tip of my nose, the kind of the bridge of my nose. Put it on my Cupid's bow. Okay. And then after that, I usually take, it's more of a flat kind of brush. It's from ColourPop as well. It is a more flat brush. I usually will take it in a little bit. I'll kind of put it up here. Just a little bit, and not a lot. Okay. And after that, I'll usually put on my lips. And I do have the Sweet Smell of Christmas. It's the lipstick set from Too Faced. These smell amazing. One of them is actually in my purse right now. It's the Hot Buttered Rum. I love it. Today I'm going to put on probably the, I think I'm going to put on the Sugar Cookie. These smell so amazing. They smell like what they're called. These are kind of smaller than the actual lipsticks, but just this whole set is $25. One lipstick is $18. So even though they're kind of smaller, they still last you a super long time. And the only thing about Too Faced, they're the only mattes I can wear because they don't feel like they're drying out my lips. I did put chapstick on before this video, so kind of rub my lips together. It's a good natural. Yeah, it's a good natural kind of look. It's a good natural kind of lipstick. I really like that one. That is the look, the finished kind of makeup look for us today. Sorry, I'm kind of just looking at it to see. Yeah, okay. That is kind of like an everyday kind of look. I do my eyeshadows like full out, kind of like I always do, but I don't wear an eyeliner, so it doesn't take as long as people think it does. For this video, I did talk more and kind of describe it more. Usually I can do it faster than that, but I always use an Anastasia palette just because these are my favorite palettes. I do have a Morphe palette. I do use it, but it is the Morphe 35B, so it has those bright colors in it. So whenever I want like a touch of a bright color, or I want to do a different color eyeshadow look, that is the palette I go to. Yeah, so that is today's look. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. In the comments, tell me what you would like me to do next. Tell me what you would like to see. Thank you for watching. I had a lot of fun. I don't feel as nervous now after I've finished the video. Yeah, so okay, tell me what you'd like to see next. Thank you for watching. If you did watch the full video, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Bye.